Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and in this video, I want to have a quick discussion about this special spider tournament revolving around only being able to use champions from one faction, the Dark Elves. This is going to be a tournament from back when the community took a poll voting on these different tournaments and what factions they wanted for each one, which the Dark Elves ended up winning for the spiders. So I'll show you the team that I am going to be using and also talk about the top 10 options, in my opinion, for venturing in to the Dark Elf spider tournament. Let's get into it. Alrighty, now first of all, we've got a lot of these going on. We've been, we had a Fire Night one, Classic Arena Takedown, and all of that. The spider tournament honestly looks a little bit underwhelming. We are going to be going for the main reward of the 6-star Chaos Ore, but I don't anticipate people being super hyped about that. I think people would care a little bit more if there was a Sacred Shard, a Void Shard, or one of the cooler skins in the game, like one of the Madame Ceres ones or something. But also for winning your group, the groups are broken down in stages of 100 people, and most groups are going to have somewhere between 10 and 20 people that are going to be vying for them and actually putting teams together that are getting after it. You can see here that my group looks like only 22 people even tried or even put together a team for the tournament, so about a 20% participation rate, but probably realistically somewhere closer to a 10% rate in terms of people actually dedicating a significant amount of energy to go after these resources. Given the fact that I've already got someone at 7,000 points, basically, not going to be an opportunity for me to really go after a Void Shard. We've got probably things like CVC, fusions, and stuff like that coming up very soon here in the, that we'll find out in the next week or so, I anticipate. So I don't really want to blow through thousands of gems to try and get to a Void Shard up top there. But for the team that I'm going to be using a little bit for some of the disposable energy that I have over the next couple of days, this is going to be the team that I went with right here. We've got Blind Seer as the leader, bringing a little bit of a defense aura. Then we've got Mithrala, Lydia, and Double Cold Heart. I think the main reason that the Dark Elves won the community vote for diving into the spider is because of having Cold Heart in the Dark Elves, one of the best champions in the game for the spider, extremely end game viable even as a rare. So I'll dive in and show you what the run looks like here when it is performing. It's going to be somewhere between a minute and a minute 30 depending on a little bit of RNG. Let me put down RSL helper for just a little bit here. So what I did was I tried to stagger the two cold arts. So right there you saw one do the AoE and then one do the Heart Seeker that just occurred when I was kind of talking about it. So now when this cold heart goes again, you're going to see a Heart Seeker come out, and I will be able to remove a little bit of turn meter by not having them go back to back. So right there you see the second Heart Seeker coming in. So you have to, the Cold Heart AI can be a little bit weird. You have to tell her to prioritize the Heart Seeker. Otherwise, when there's so many enemies on the map, she likes to do that AoE to hit a bunch of different things. So just keep in mind, if you're using one Cold Heart, you may want to set it to prioritize the Heart Seeker. If you're using two Cold Hearts, you may want to just set one of the AIs and let it stagger so that our second Cold Heart can at least steal a little bit of turn meter. I think mine ended up stealing around 15 or 20% of turn meter instead of 0 if I had them go right next to each other and just do back-to-back Heart Seekers. So you see we're running up on about 1 minute here, and I anticipate us to blast it down in about 15 seconds. I'm going to guess a minute 18. My final answer, minute 18. Come on, make me look smart here. Uh-oh. It's getting dicey. It's getting dicey. Rip. Okay. Minute 18 was not the ticket. And there it is, minute 23. Yeah, so it's going to be somewhere between a minute 10 and a minute 30, depending on how the runs go. And you can see both my Cold Hearts doing the majority of the damage at 3.6 and 3.4 million, respectively. And that is the team I'm using. Then I can blow up RSL helper if you want to see some of the stats involved in my team. The main thing you want to focus on is making sure your Cold Heart is going to go after whoever is placing the defense down and the weaken and all of that on the spider. Obviously, you want your Cold Hearts hitting after you get the debuffs live and online, and you ideally want your shielders, placing their shields at the right time to make sure that the coverage is up when the spiderlings are going to be attacking and all of that. But it should be pretty simple if you are an endgame player with decent gear on your account to put together a team to get after stage 20. And like we always say on the channel, there's nothing wrong with doing stage 20 for tournaments and events when you are mainly trying to acquire points, because stage 20 is the most efficient points per energy spent. Now let's dive into the Dark Elves as a faction and talk about how they kind of shake out and the different options here that we have in our arsenal for the Spider. I did put together a little graphic here talking about some of the top 10 options in my opinion for getting after this. You'll see Lydia up there, just so much utility that she brings, so many buffs, debuffs, can be the defense down and the weaken, the speed up, just an insane champion. Coldheart, one of the best rares in the game and insanely endgame viable. Coldheart's going to be probably the most commonly used champion in the game for this tournament. And then you hit that next tier of, you know, that 3 to 7 spot where they're bringing a lot of utility, and you'll see them used with the Mithrala, the Blind Seer for the shielding, the Visix for the provokes and stuff to help keep people like Coldheart alive. Sylar is a little bit of a sleeper with that AoE decrease speed, can be fun to have in there in some budget teams. Ghostborn with the ability to lay down the guaranteed defense down. You'll see a lot of endgame players use Ghostborn because you, if you have a run that can fail if a certain debuff doesn't land, Ghostborn's a good option because then you can go from a 97% win rate to 100%, because even at a million accuracy, your debuffs are going to be 3% to fail unless they have a mechanic like Ghostborn where they cannot be resisted. So that is why he's going to end up being on a list like this for that handy guaranteed defense down. And then that next tier, the 8, 9, 10 is going to be kind of your niche champions. Ray can do a lot of AoE, hit decently hard, has a really good aura for this tournament. She does have a 33% in all dungeons. And then Madame Ceres does have a defense break and an attack down, which can be handy in surviving those spiderlings coming after you. But the cooldown is not the best. You can see that it is at a 4-turn cooldown even when fully booked. And then Paragon, we got to sneak him on there because he can be used in some of those niche strategies where you can manipulate the AI to get those spiderlings to come after your Paragon instead of a squishy champion like a Coldheart that you're trying to keep alive. So there we go, a pretty straightforward video, pretty straightforward tournament going on here. I wish Plarium would have made these a little bit more hype. I think they should be like giving away skins as a guaranteed reward. Like put a skin over there at 3,000 points or something. One of those Madame Ceres. Madame Ceres is a dark elf. It would make perfect sense. They should have put one of those Madame Ceres skins over on the right side for 3,000 points to make people really get after it and win. Like if you haven't seen those Madame Ceres skins, you probably have, but they're super cool. We pull those up really quick here and talk about this. I did a YouTube short talking about the Madame Ceres skins, but I think it's some of the best skins they've done in terms of skins for new champions. The Blood Veil right here, and then the Hellbirth skin right here. Madame Ceres, obviously, probably one of the top 10 most iconic champions in Raid, and they did a really good job on the skins. I think they should have threw a skin in there for the Dark Elf Spider tournament. It would have made a lot of sense, but all in all, it's pretty underwhelming, and I don't expect it to be a super hyped up tournament that a lot of people are out there grinding for. But you do get an Ancient Shard at 1350. You get some of the Awakening mechanics and the Blessing mechanics at 1750. So it's not completely worthless. And if you do have a winnable group, you could also get a Void Shard, some Charms, and some Relentless gear. But Spider is decently popular, and we do have an event going on for the new faction right now in the 2x Drop Fever for the Sylvan Watchers. So the groups are probably going to be decently tough to win. You'll get at least a couple endgame players that throw together a Dark Elf team and get after some of the new faction accessories. But yeah, anyway, let me know down below any champions that I missed. I can pull that up again. We went with Lydia, Coldheart, Mithrala, Blind Seer, Visix, Sylar, Ghostborn, Ray, Madame Ceres, and Paragon. Always enjoy your thoughts down below. And remember to subscribe on your way out if you enjoy daily Raid Shadow Legends content. I'll see you soon in the next video. Have a great rest of your week. Peace.